Good evening, everyone. For those of you who are in the Pacific coast of the USA, we are in at the class 11 of Unwholesome and Wholesome Courses of Action, part 1, taught by Venerable Pinyadika Lingkara, teaching us all the way from Indonesia. Today is November the 23rd, 2022, Pacific time of 4:30 p.m. So today is the exceptional day that we will have our usual class time move up an hour ahead. But after this week and a week after this week, we will revert back to the usual hour. Bhante will give us more details on that. So welcome everyone, and I would like to share a quick agenda items we have here. We will start our usual class with the Namo Tassa, and then we already did the revision and discussion, and we already did the revision and discussion, and now we will start our Abhidhamma Lecture. So Bhante, please lead us to chanting Namo Tassa.
Okay, let's start our today's Abhidhamma study and reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma
Bhante, you got cut off due to probably internet connection. So
just now.
Please, would you like to chant again the Bhante? You got cut off like the second part, the second sentence here.
Okay, let's pay homage to the Buddha again. Yeah?
Thanks, Bhante.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Bhante, please teach us about wholesome and unwholesome courses of actions today.
Okay. Yeah, let's start Abhidhamma study about the wholesome and unwholesome courses of action. So before we study about the whole topic of wholesome and unwholesome courses of action, so many will contain in this, even in the title. So there, wholesome and unwholesome, you already know wholesome is called the kusala, and unwholesome is akusala. Kusala and akusala. Here the action reference to the karma here in this case. Action reference to the karma, and courses of action refer to the accomplished karma, karma which accomplished. Sometimes, you know, our karma, when we, although we intend to accomplish, due to the opposite condition of lack of the effort or lack of the supportive conditions, some actions are not successful. At that time, they are called the not full course of action. And so in this case, we will talk about the action and course of action. That course of action, in Pali, it is called Kamma Pata. So actually, the word Pata is the path. So path to accomplishment of Kamma. This is called the Kusala Kammapata and Akusala Kammapata. Okay, so I think you have listened recorded video about this, and also I suggested to listen some related classes, recorded classes, so that you can easily understand when we discuss in this class. Okay, so here, wholesome and unwholesome courses of action. If we talk about the action, so we can classify action into three types. According to the door, here, the door is the media. So the door refers to the media, not the real doors of the house or something else. Here, the media through which the Kamma is performed. So the Kamma is translated as the action. When the beings perform the action, he need to use any media or any channel. So this one is called the door. And they are the bodily action. So because the beings use the body to perform that action, this action, that's why these related actions are called the Kaya Kamma, because it's come through the Kaya Dwara, using the body. The body is Kaya. Then, and second one is Babel action, because it uses we call it the mouth. So through the mouth we use, it is called the Babel action. And then for number 3, the last one is mental action. It does not use any formal medias of body or speech. Just perform only in the mind. It's called mental action. So in this way, Kamma or action is classified into 3. So it's very popular in Buddhist teaching area. The Kaya Kamma, Vaci Kamma, and Mano Kamma. So it's related to, in this case, you can have some more information about the other one, Dwara, because the Kaya Dwara, Vaci Dwara, and also Mano Dwara. So by using 3 doors, the beings perform 3 types of action. Then here in this case, one more vocabulary about the Abhidhamma usage. This is called the Kaya Viññati. Kaya Viññati, translated as the bodily intimation. So the intimation is a kind of materialities. So we can see there is a kind of materialities of the material phenomena by which the person can express his will, his intention, what he wants to let the other people know, and moving his physical body. he can call, come here like this by the physical sign. Or he can give any comment, and he can let the other people know about his will. Whatever he used the action is called the kaya vinyati. This is bodily intimation. So the movement. So intentional movement to let the other people know any meaning. That is called the bodily intimation, a kind of materiality. If we have, so when we count the ultimate realities, there are 28 ultimate materialities. Among them, the bodily intimation is one type of material phenomena. It is produced by mind. So the movement of the living being's body to let other people know any meaning, it is called the bodily intimation or kaya vinyati in Pali. So that is kaya dwara. That is called kaya dwara. So what I'm doing is to let you know what is kaya dwara. So we know the kaya karma. Kaya karma is the action done through the kaya dwara. So the question comes, what is kaya dwara? Okay, kaya dwara means bodily intimation, kaya vinyati, intentional movement to let other people know any meaning. That is a kind of materialities, movement of materialities. So because it is the mind produces material phenomena, so we can see around us, the trees are moving. When the wind comes, trees are moving. But although they are moving of the material phenomena, but it is not produced by mind. That's why it is not bodily intimation. Only the movement of material phenomena of living beings are produced by mind. That is called kaya vinyati or kaya dwara. By using that intentional material movement, the beings are performing their kaya karma, the action done by body. So that's why sometimes we make a move without intention. So that is not the really called the kaya karma. It's just a movement. So here we have to understand what it means. Kaya karma is bodily action. It's done through the kaya dwara. Kaya dwara refers to bodily intimation, a kind of material phenomena produced by mind to express one's intention. So to perform one's intention, that is called the kaya karma, the first type. Then the second type, just need to change the, sorry, here I make a mistake. Here, verbal intimation, it should be that verbal intimation, sorry. Because here, vaci karma should be vaci vinyati. So, vaci vinyati, not kaya vinyati at all. So, here, verbal action is done through the door of speech or vaci dwara. In the same way, if we ask what is exactly mean vaci dwara, okay, it is mean their verbal intimation. So it should be verbal intimation, vaci vinyati. Also a kind of mind-produced material phenomena, mind-originated material phenomena. Because our mouth move to produce the voice. The movement is done through done by the mind. That's why mind-originated material phenomena. So here to express verbally. So the former one to express the bodily. The second one, to express verbally. So we use the door. That's why Musawada or Prusawacha like this. We perform the verbal action through speaking, through verbal, the door of speech. This is second types. Also, you see the two are called the intimation, kaya vinyati, the bodily intimation, and vachi vinyati, verbal intimation. These are called the two vinyati rupa among the 28 materialities. So both the form 1 and 2 related to the movement of materialities. But sometimes we perform the action without making any movement of materialities, only in the mind. So without reaching intentional expression through body or speech, we don't move any part of our body and we just think. And also at the same time, perform the action. It's called the mental action. So the mental action only in the mind. You see the manasme yuva. So now we get the three types of action. Roughly, you have to remember that kaya karma, bodily action, vachi karma, verbal action, and mano karma, mental action. And two karma of kaya karma and vachi karma are done through the movement of materiality, which is called the kaya vinyati and vachi vinyati, bodily intimation and verbal intimation. Okay, so let's continue. Classifying the action in our daily life. So we will start from the unwholesome. The akusala karma pata 10. There are 10 unwholesome causes of action. So as I say, the causes of action called karma pata. When the karma pata accomplished, it has the potency to produce new life, to produce rebirth linking moment. So our beginning of our life, the very beginning moment is called Paṭisanti. Our life is started by that moment. Without that moment, there's no life. That moment is called Paṭisanti. If any karma produces Paṭisanti, we can say it produced the life. So human life or animal life, by that karma, it is produced. So here, akusala karma pata. There are 10 akusala karma pata. Paṭipatti, adinadana, kamisimichachara. Is translated as the killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. They are performed by the bodily action through the body. Generally performed by body. But sometimes you can see some people commit the killing through the speech, giving the order, or giving any speaking any word to cause killing. Also, due to his action or speaking, the killing is done. At that time, we can say the killing is committed by verbal action. But here is mentioned that bodily action. Why? Because most of the action or killing are committed by the bodily action. Or some case, the stealing also committed by the in the word and the speech. But the sexual misconduct is committed only by the bodily action. So the number 1 and 2, killing and stealing, can be performed by the verbal action, sometimes even the mental action only. So you say that some powerful or one who has the powerful mind, and in combination with the some how to say some magical trick, they can kill other by mind like this. I don't know with the present day there can be any example or not. But the reason why we say the three types of killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct as a bodily action is because they generally arise through their bodily door. In the same way, the second group, musawada, false speech, pisuna vaja, slanderous speech, and prusa vaja, harsh speech, sampapalapa vaja, frivolous talk or vain talk, is not bringing any benefits, just for entertain, it's talking. And these four kinds of action are done generally done by verbal action. That's why they are called the vajikama, verbal action. So sometimes the musawada, giving false information by the bodily action, also possible. So if someone asks the way where to go, intentionally indicating the wrong way, not talking, but that kinds of musawada, giving the misinformation, is done by their bodily action. But most of the cases, these are done by the verbal action. In the same way, some harmful action to the others is a kind of the harsh speech, like this. Okay, now there are the four actions recognized as the verbal action because they are generally committed by the door of speech. Generally occurs through the door of speech. Then for the last group, abhijja, covetousness. So this abhijja, what is abhijja? It's strong attachment, considering others' property to make one's own. So this, we can say this is strong level of the lobha. So you understand lobha? Lobha is wishing to get or wishing to grasp. This is called lobha. And if you go, for example, if you go to the shop and you see anything beautiful and you like, just like, and that is a kind of attachment, lobha. And you wish to get in proper way with payment and buy in trading, or you buy some, you want to buy. Still, we can say this is lobha. But you don't want to buy and you want to get it. Still want to get it, how to say that, legally or illegally, but it's not in your right. And that is called the abhijja. You can say that is called abhijja. It's strong attachment. That's why, and not all lobha is not akusala kamapata. But when the lobha become in the level of abhijja, covetousness, it becomes the akusala kamapata and has the potency to produce the life in the hopeful state. And vyabhara, evil. Here also the usage is vyabhara and translated as evil. But in the ultimate reality, it refers to the dosa. So mental fetters or dosa is called hatred and translated as hatred. But not all hatred are akusala kamapata. Only when that hatred comes into the stage of evil, vyavara. The vyavara, in the stage of vyavara, it occupies the mind and is considering to destroy others' benefits or others' life. So sometimes get angry in the low level, just make the disappointing or not satisfaction, dissatisfaction of mind. It's not in the level of evil, Vyavada. When it becomes evil, it's stronger than that. Stronger than that. Sometimes we feel sorry. So, because someone talked to us and someone does the action we don't like, or we feel sorry. It's just in the level of getting angry and feeling to with the feeling of their sorrowful feeling. But due to that, if we are considering why he is doing this, why she is doing this, he should not be doing in this way, and I will do something like this, become stronger and stronger. In the level of evil is called the akusala kamavata. Although we don't do anything harmful to them, or we do whatever, the level already come into the stage of akusala kamavata at that time. It can produce the life, new life in the woeful state. So these two reference to the lobha. The first one, covetousness, not avijja, reference to the lobha, but the high, strong level of lobha. And vyabhada, evil, refers to dosa, but strong level of dosa, to say the akusala kamavata. Otherwise, the lobha and dosa are very easy to arise in our mental process in daily life. Now, when you see something you like, you feel the attachment, that you get the attachment, then it's called the lobha. If that kind of lobha can produce the life in the woeful state, that nobody can escape. I have to go all the time. Because when we see something, each other, and friends, family member, attachment arise easily. And sometimes our mind very easy to disappoint it, to get angry. Angry have the different level, you will learn later. And so if every lobha and dosa can produce the life in the woeful state, nobody can escape from the woeful state. So only the level of covetousness and evil called akusala kamapata, and they can produce the life in the woeful state, apaya. That's why if you don't want to go, or don't want to be reborn in the woeful state, you have to control your lobha and dosa not to be in the level of abhijja and vyavara. And this is a very important point, whatever we see, we hear, we eat, it can easily give rise to their lobha and dosa if we don't practice the indriya samvara sila, the restraints of sense faculties by the mindfulness and effort, like this. Only when we practice and our mind is not going to the abhijja and domanassa, abhijja and vyavada, like this. Okay, so the last one, micchaditthi, round view. So that round view are mentioned in the Sutta in different level. Sometimes, the round view, what is called not right view, just round. Just round means not strongly, not totally round. So that here round view, there's kinds of round view which lead to their unwholesome case. You can say that they are called the strong round view. For example, we consider our body is a Satan, because we don't know the process. In the process, all materialities and mentalities are in the process and changing, all are momentary, just arise and disappear. This is the nature, interested nature, sabhava nature. But for ordinary person, not practicing vipassana meditation, not listening Dhamma, and when we don't know, and we are thinking our body is accident. I was born, and continuously my body is here, my mind is this. Thinking this is called, we call the Sakkaya Ditti. So body is accident, mind is accident, the life is accident, like this. But that kind of wrong view is not called the Kammapata. If it is Kammapata, also we cannot escape. Yeah, okay, so there's some kinds of wrong view, Ahituka Ditti or Akiriya Ditti, like this. Ahituka Ditti, there is no cause. This arises automatically, no reason. So that's why if I do something wrong, they say wrong, but it cannot be produced something. Then if someone is holding that kinds of wrong view, that wrong view lead him or her to perform akusala very strongly. Then akriya ditti, the karma cannot be done. It's automatically generated like this. So no considering one's own responsibility. That kind of wrong view is very strong and considered as the Kammapata. Okay, so the last one, number 10, is wrong view. For these three, Abhijja, Vyavada, and Micchaditi, no need to use their body Kamma and Manokamma. Then we classify 10 akusala kammapata into 3 types. 10 akusala kammapata, akusala kamma into 3 types. So this akusala kammapata can be done in our daily life. So we have to be careful. If we kill, the victim was killed or it died, at that time, the karma is accomplished. So if the victim is not was not killed by the intended action of us, so there is no kammapata. And in the same way, stealing. Someone trying to steal but not successful. At that time, it's not kammapata. Only when the intended property is stolen by that action is called the action of stealing is kammapata. So why we say kammapata? Again, let me repeat it. Only when akusala become the kammapata, and through this the action can produce the rebirth linking in awful state. But the akusala never produce the rebirth linking in the blissful state. Okay, so we have studied the 10 akusala kammapata. So let's talk about more information about the 10 akusala kammapata. So there are 1 to 7. The first 7 courses. So these 7 courses of action are identified with the volition. So not only volition, because for the last 3, only the mental action. But for the former 7, it need to make any effort arise in the mind to produce the bodily entity intimation or verbal intimation. It connected with the volition. So effort and volition come together to accomplish the former 7. Cannot accomplish. Only when it make effort, it combined with the effort, the killing action is. And that's stealing. If someone want to steal, the volition comes, the action at the beginning. Want to steal. But later on, when the volition combined with the effort, any effort, at that time it is committed, the stealing action. So we have to note that former 7 types, it needs the volition need the support of their effort to accomplish the respective action. Then, in combination, 2 power of volition and effort to accomplish the specific action of former 7. When it is done, it's become the Kammapada, full course of action. And when it is not done, it is not full course of action. It's not akusala kammapada, but still completed or not completed. It is akusala. So in this case, we can understand akusala and akusala kammapada. So as I say, not all akusala are called kammapada, because the kammapada case, kammapada level, it produces the rebirth, paṭisandi, in woeful state. So, although it is not completed, still akusala. So if so, that kinds of akusala, what is happening? It can produce the result, unpleasant result. So unpleasant result in the course of in the course of life, or during the life. After rebirth, so good and bad we encounter. The bad result are produced by the akusala karma. Sometimes the full course of karma also produced. Then sometimes not full course of karma produced. So in this case, we can understand if the karma is in full course of action, we call the akusala kammapada. At that time, it can produce in both moment of paṭisandi and during the life, Paṭipatti. But if the karma is not accomplished to be full course, not kammapada, but still akusala, that kinds of akusala can produce only in Paṭipatti times. It's called during the course. It cannot produce the new existence. This is the difference. Sometimes, in many cases, someone wants to perform any unwholesome course of action, especially former 3, but not successful. Not successful. At that time, we call only akusala happen. Sometimes it's successful. At that time, we call akusala kammapada happen. The result also different. If akusala kammapada is accomplished, it can be both sides, to produce new life in the opposite state, also possible. And sometimes produce in the life, the unpleasant or bad result. And if it is not successful, only during the lifetimes. Okay, here, as I mentioned before, the accomplishment, that of the intended being for the Paṭipada case. And the appropriation of the other's property. So become our own, stealing, accomplish. Okay, so let's continue the roots. So when we talk about the unwholesome action, they also arise due to condition, not arise without condition. So here, among these conditions, some perform the function of roots, very important role, taking the very important role. That is called the roots. So as we have said in the former lesson, there are 6 roots. 6 roots. Lobha, dosa, moha for unwholesome side. For the beautiful side, alobha, adosa, and amoha. So here, because we are talking about the unwholesome cause of action, and we will talk about the unwholesome roots of lobha, dosa, moha. Okay, so before that, we have to see that unwholesome action are done by the unwholesome consciousness. It means when someone is performing 10 unwholesome causes of action, at the time, any of 12 unwholesome consciousness take place in his mind or in her mind. That's why we can identify by the ultimate realities through the action. So we say, he killed the animals, that is a mosquito. So at the action, we say the kill, reference to the moment. What is killing? This action. The word killing is an expression of his action he has done. Then when he performed that action, what happened in his mind, mental process? We can identify at that time the dosa mula consciousness, any of dosa mula consciousness, because as you know that there are 2 dosa mula consciousness. Only one can take place at that time. If asankharika or sasankharika, according to the situation, one will take place. But with the lobha mula, you cannot kill. With the lobha mula, cannot kill, because the root is dosa at that time of killing. Now we see the Paṭipatti killing and Frusa Vacha. This is number 6 in the 10 unwholesome cause of action. And Vyapada evil. These 3 actions. The first one, Kaya Kamma. Second one, Vachikamma. And last one, Manokamma. But these 3 are caused by the hatred, dosa. So if we follow what is the root to commit the killing, to speak the heartbeat, or to develop the evil, is the hatred, dosa, is the spring causes to give rise to the 3 actions of Paṭipatti, Prusavacha, and Vyapada. So that's why when someone is committing, we can identify by their ultimate reality. Is someone including ourselves? Now, if we commit killing or speaking high speed or developing our anger to their level of evil, at that time, the root is hatred, dosa mula. So dosa mula consciousness arises. Because the dosa with the hatred, only dosa mula can arise. Because lobha mula, lobha cannot arise at the same time dosa arise, as we have mentioned in the akusala study. So the root is mentioned as the dosa. So you can check this one in the chapter 5 or Abhidhamma Sangha. In chapter 5 there, Pali text come. But this information is very important and also need to relate to the akusala consciousness. That's why I bring to the front. So they do become earlier part of the lesson although it's mentioned in the chapter 5. But in the chapter 5, we will skip. So we don't need to repeat it. So now you need to notice that Pāṭipatti, Prusawaja, and Vyavada are produced by the hatred-rooted consciousness, because their root is hatred. Then the second group, Kāmisamiccācara, sexual misconduct. Oh, this is the Kaya Kamma, number 3. And Abhijja, number 8 is Manokamma. Micca Ditti, wrong view, Manokamma. They are produced by the lobha only, greed only. Their root is greed. So to commit the Kāmisamiccācara, very obvious, greed. Sometimes, to give revenge, someone commit that one. Also, without greed, cannot commit. That's why the greed is root at the moment of commitment for the sensual misconduct. The greed-rooted consciousness, any of greed-rooted consciousness is arising in that person's mind. Then Abhijja is the stronger greed, strong greed, and Micca Ditti. So when we study akusala consciousness, you see some associated with Ditti, wrong view. That is called Ditthikata Samyutta. So that Ditthikata Samyutta can be found only in the Lobha Mula consciousness, no Dosa Mula or no Moha Mula. That's why the Micca Ditti also rooted in the greed. That's why it's considered as the spring from the root of greed. 3 unwholesome causes of action can be done through the greed-rooted consciousness. And the last group, Adhinadana, stealing, is the Kaya Kamma, number 2. And Musawara, false speech, is Vajjikamma. Pisuna Vaja, slanderous speech, also Vajjikamma. Sampaplapa Vaja, Vajjikamma. These produce any of greed or hatred. Now cannot work together. Sometimes stealing is done by the greed because he wants to get. Sometimes stealing is done by the hatred because he wants to destroy others. Others good situation. The robbing or like this. And false speech also the same. Sometimes produced by the greed and sometimes produced by the hatred. So this is the 4 action can be done either greed or hatred. So sometimes at the time of stealing, the greed-rooted consciousness arises. Sometimes when he wishes to destroy, not for himself to get it, and he's trying to commit the stealing, is the dosa mula consciousness arise at the moment of stealing. So we have to understand this one. So this connection come the 10 unwholesome causes of action. We have to memorize 10 first. After that, 12 unwholesome consciousness, Lobha Mula 8, Dosa Mula 2, and Moha Mula 2. Then you have to understand 3 roots of hatred, greed, hatred, and delusion, Moha. But here, according to this explanation, 3 are produced by the hatred only, 3 are produced by the greed only, and the remaining 4 are produced by the either greed or hatred. So what about Moha? So Moha, you can ask why Moha is not included in the roots when it is mentioned. If you read the text of Abhidhamma Sangha, the Abhidhamma Sangha mentioned only 3. Why is Moha is not mentioned? But Moha is the common base for all unwholesome karma, common base, common cause. So no need to mention. So when the The Paṭipatti, Prusa, Vacha, and Vyavahara, three are produced by the hatred-rooted consciousness. At that time also, they cannot arise without moha. That's why moha already connected. But moha only does not produce any karma. Only when it's associated with the dosa or lobha. At that time, it produces the karma to the stage of course of action, like this. So according to this classification, karma classified into three types. Hatred produce karma, greed produce karma, and sometimes there's any of two roots, greed or hatred produce karma. But they are only the process of the 12 unwholesome consciousness. If there is no 12 unwholesome consciousness arise, we don't need to worry for the commitment of any of 10 unwholesome course of action. So in this slide, we study how we can connect 3 unwholesome root and 10 unwholesome course of action. At the same time, we understand the consciousness arising, what kind of consciousness arising is arising in our mental process when we commit any types of specific types of unwholesome action. Okay, so here this already mentioned that unwholesome case, but compared to wholesome case, as we are talking about the wholesome and wholesome course of action, akusala karma and also kusala karma. When we say the kusala karma pata against to the akusala karma pata, it becomes the wholesome courses of action. Also, the same nature, when they are done in full courses, they can produce patisati, rebirth thinking, but in the blissful state, blissful plane of existence. Because akusala produced in the woeful state, kusala karma produced in the blissful state. This is converted to akusala karma pata into kusala karma pata. So the name also same, just trying to Viramani. So Viramani is abstinence. If someone commit the killing, it is akusala karma pata. If someone abstain from killing intentionally, so nobody can kill all the time. But if we are living without killing, we don't say this is kusala like this. But this is normal living. It's just not killing. But if we intentionally keep ourselves to abstain from killing, this is kusala karma pata. The action is abstinence. So in our daily life, we don't need to kill all the time. We don't need to steal all the time. At that time, so we are not abstaining. We are just living, not killing. So we have to make sure that only when, so we intentionally keep ourselves not to kill, that is abstinence. Okay, so if you are performing the action of Viramani, so in the former 7, Viramani, Panadipada Viramani, Adinatana Viramani, that is. So that is intentionally done, the abstinences. It's called the wholesome action. So if you are not taking precept and not abstaining, just living in your normal life, you are living in innocent life, but you are not keeping the precept intentionally. That's why you have to make determination. I will keep their this determination not to kill, like this. This is the Vayamani, the movement of wholesome course of action. And if you avoid the stealing or sexual misconduct, these are called bodily action of kaya karma in kusala side. If you avoid four wrongdoing, baba wrongdoings, they are called the baba action of kusala karma, musawara. So then the last group, anabhija, the opposite of abhija. Abhija is lobha. So sometimes, when dosa arises, no abhija. But we cannot say it is non-covetousness because this is not opposite. This is just the other is taking place. The opposite one, non-covetousness, is anabhija, is alobha. Alobha is one of the beautiful mental fetters. Alobha. And second one, then number 9 is abhyabhada, non-evil. Non-evil is also the adosa, the mental fetters of adosa in the beautiful side. Not being, I just want to emphasize that these are not being absent of the unwholesome. Sometimes the people misunderstand. If I don't have the lobha at the moment, it is anabhija or like this, abhyabhada. But actually, the specific mental fetters are called the anabhija and abhyabhada. And samadhi, right view. Although it is called right view, there's no mental fetter or right view. The mental fetters or wisdom faculty is called right view. So we will learn in the chapter 2 when we study about the 52 mental fetters. 52 mental fetters, we will understand. The covetousness is called the non-greed, non-evil refers to the non-hatred, adosa. And right view refers to the wisdom faculties, the mental fetters or wisdom faculty, panyendriya. So when they arise by the intentionally motivation, is called the mental action of wholesome, is manogama. So by these 10 wholesome course of action, beings can be born in the blissful plane of existence because they are kusala kamapata. At the same classification with the akusala kamapata, these are also classified into 3 types: bodily, bhava, and mental. Not difficult for that case. Then, if we say only these 10 are wholesome, it's very, very small, very narrow case, because the action or dana not included in the action of the 10 wholesome courses, Paṭipatti, Viramani, etc. These are Paṭipatti, Viramani, the former 7 included in the number 2, sila. Sila. So Paṭipatti, Viramani, Adinadana, Viramani, etc. These are called sila. And the later 3, non-hatred or the nabhija, abhyabhada, and samadhi, they can include the other case, the when development of the practice of the dana given, the mental fetters arise. There, anabhija, the non-greed on the non-hatred, referring to the anabhija and abhyabhada. They are also included as a meritorious deed, and also the kamapata. That's why when we study the kusala kamapata, we have to study together with the 10 bases of meritorious deed. These are called the punya kriya vatu. Punya is the word similar to the kusala. So kriya is the action or deed. Vatu is the base or condition. So the base of meritorious deeds are called the Punya Kriya Utu. Also, they are called the Kusala, the action of Kusala. And so here, the enumeration come that first one, dana, giving, sila, virtue, so moral preserve, moral virtue we call. And the third one, bhavana, meditation. So for although we call, it's mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangha and in some places, some sutta, 10 types of Punya Kriya Utu. But sometimes Buddha, in some sutta, when the Buddha gave brief discourse, Buddha mentioned only 3 types of. That's why these are 3 main base of meritorious deed: dana, sila, and bhavana only. But if we extend in the large version, become 10 types. Okay, let's see. The number 4 is called apachayana reverence. And apachayana reverence is, understand, the respectful behavior, respectful manner. This is called apachayana, giving the way to others, to elders, and understand greeting or the preparing something for the elders and respected person. This is called apachayana. And vayavaca, service. So these 2, if we include in the 3 types in the brief version, these 2 come into the second group of sila, apachayana and vayavaca are in the sila group. Then, okay, so the number 6 is patidana, transference of merit, is sharing merit. So in Myanmar we say amya. And patanumodana, we make their sadhu and rejoicing the others' merit. This is the considered as the giving dana, the function of dana, if we make the only 3. Then number 8, Dhamma Sawana, listening, hearing the Dhamma. And Dhamma Desana, teaching. So this includes the class. Now you are performing. If you can keep your mind in this lesson, it is you are developing the hearing the Dhamma, the wholesome action. And Ditthiyukama straightens out one's own view. So avoidance of the wrong way of thinking. One intentionally making straightening his own view. This is called Ditthiyukama. And the action of wholesome, the action of meritorious deed. So these are also considered as the explained as the Punya Kriya Utu and the action of wholesome. By performing this action, one can develop his wholesome action, wholesome causes. Okay, so today's I think we can finish only this slide. So when we talk about the unwholesome unwholesome cause of action, Paṭipada, etc. I said that they are similar to the moment of the 12 of unwholesome consciousness, rooted in Lobha, Dosa, and Moha. So what about when the wholesome cause of action are done? So when someone performs the wholesome cause of action, what kind of consciousness arises? We have to ask. Then, as we say, the cause of action in wholesome side, kusala kamapata and meritorious deed are conjoined with each other. So former 7 included in this sila, and the others included in the other action of their. So let's talk about the wider things. So in this case, dana, sila, bhavana, apachayana, etc. All 10 wholesome cause of action are done. by the three blissful causes, non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. Sometimes it completes three causes, the three roots, when they are done by the jnana sampayutta. So we need to connect with the wholesome consciousness. If the beginner, if you are not understanding about the wholesome consciousness, you are confused. So like the unwholesome consciousness, there are wholesome consciousness. And wholesome consciousness also classified into different types, sense pure, kama vajra, and sublime jhana. So in the other case, these are sense pure. And only the meditation case, it can be both sense pure or sublime jhana. Sometimes sense pure, sometimes jhana. So wholesome karma, we can say the sense pure karma or sometimes jhana, only in case of bhavana. The other case, as the sense pure karma. So sense pure karma can be performed at the moment of 8 sense pure wholesome consciousness. 4 jnana sampayutta associated with knowledge. 4 jnana vipayutta dissociated from knowledge. So when jnana sampayutta associated with knowledge is non-delusion root, include 3 roots here. And by the absence of knowledge, dissociated from knowledge, is there's no non-delusion roots. So only 2 roots. That's why we can understand the wholesome course of action are done sometimes 3 roots: non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. Sometimes 2 roots: non-greed and non-hatred only. And this is the roots of the wholesome action. So now we have studied 10 unwholesome causes of action, and conjoined with the 12 unwholesome consciousness and 3 roots. And also we have studied 10 wholesome causes of action and 10 base of meritorious deed, conjoined with the wholesome causes, wholesome consciousness, 8 sense pure, and we will say the number later in sublime jhana. And the roots are any of 3 blissful for the wholesome side. Okay, so for part 1, we can finish only to this. Okay, I'm going to stop here and let's continue to the Q&A session. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Many thanks, Bhante, for teaching us about unwholesome and wholesome courses of actions today. We will now go to the question and answer session, followed by aspiration and sharing merits and closing. So for those of you who wants to join us, you can hop onto the Zoom ID right here, and then the passcode is here. Thank you for watching.